Grow, Sell, and Retire is the podcast for the lazy overachiever. B.D. Dalton, author of True Gravity and Grow, Sell, and Retire, is here to give you his 25 years of secrets, tips, and systems to take your business to the next level. This is your chance to find out what is working in sales, marketing, and running your business. If you stop learning, you stop burning. Now, here's your host, BD, with today's GSR podcast.
Hey everybody, BD Dalton here from the Grow, Sell, and Retire podcast. I'm going to have a little flashback here. So I'm going to sing you a song, but not really sing it to you. I'm going to read it to you. And this just took me back to this idea around everybody's in this scarcity mentality of selling and approaching and attacking and doing all this stuff in the sales process. So today's going to be all about this song. So the song starts off, or actually the second verse says, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So this is lyrics from Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. So let's look at this. So it's all about body language. It's all about how far you're going to get into making sure that when you're paying attention to your salespeople or your people that you are trying to have an assisted purchase with, you really have to know how to make sure that you're understanding their body language, their face, their eyes, how they're carrying themselves. Also, that they know and they understand how much energy and how excited you are without being overexcited, because if they see that you are too excited and you're too focused and you're too hungry, then guess what? They're going to turn away. So I handed him my bottle and he drank down the last swallow and bummed a cigarette from me and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet and his face lost all expression. He said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right." And then the chorus comes in. And this is where we're going to talk about what you have to do in a meeting. So we've talked about having an agenda. We've talked about being focused, making sure that we're bringing the right information to the table, but paying attention to the clients. If you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 clients in the room, you've got to make sure that you've got the attention of the people that you need to have buying into what you're doing. So if you were playing poker, you need to, if you're trying to bluff them, you want to make them think that you've got lots of aces. You want to make them think that you are about ready to throw down the winning hand. So sometimes you're going to have to make sure that you can either read their body language or they cannot read yours. So let's start talking about, you've got to, and this is the lyric, you got to know when to hold them. And this is when to hold back. This is when not to give them everything. Because if you give people too much information, sometimes they can't digest it, and sometimes they cannot admit that they don't understand what you're saying. So sometimes, and we talk about this a lot, is you have to anchor them to something. You have to give them an idea. And we were talking to one of our deals the other day, and we had to sit there, and I had to sit back and think, what is this person's hang up? Why are they just holding on to this thing? And they keep bashing back to this number. And guess what? I had to say, look, I understand that your number, that 100,000 pound number, that $100,000 number, that's great. We're going to get that sorted out. So let's talk about the next stage. But I had to hold it. I had to hold it back. I couldn't just tell him, this is what it is. This is what. So you've got to hold back. You've got to know when to hold him. And then the next one is you got to know when to fold them. Know when to fold them. In poker, if you're not a poker player, this is when, you know what, you're just going to put all your cards away, leave all the money that you've already put in the middle of the pot, and you're going to leave it there so that they don't get any more money from you, any more time from you, or in the sales case, any more confused by what you keep throwing at them. So sometimes it's better just to walk away from the meeting, or step out, or go have a coffee, or have a walk around the block, or change topic, bring somebody else into the meeting, do something else that allows there to be a break. You need to make sure that you've folded them from that. The next one is You got to know when to walk away. So when you're walking away, sometimes you just have to cancel that meeting. Sometimes you have to say, you know what, this isn't going in the right direction. And so that we make sure, because I believe that this thing works so well for you, and we need to make sure you keep coming back to it. I want to make sure that you understand that I care enough about this and believe that you need to have this enough that we are going to come back and have another meeting about it. If it's a high enough value sale, if it's the right type of client from you, you've got to walk away. And then the last one is, not only do you need to know when to walk away, but you need to know when to run. Because if you don't think that this is right, you need to run away from this client, because if you sell them something that they don't need, you are doing them an injustice. You're being a poor salesperson. You're not doing what you need to do. And guess what? You are going to do the wrong thing. The next bit of advice is even better. It comes back to, you never count your money when you're sitting at the table. So you don't count your chickens before they're hatched. You don't count your money while they're sitting at the table, because there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. So if you know that you've landed this deal, they've understood you, they've pulled the whole thing, you see it in their face, they basically signed the paycheck. You do not sit back and count that money, because you'll be too excited. You won't be able to focus on what the real questions the clients have are. And you need to make sure that what is there is what you promised them, so that they are getting the right delivery. You see it in their faces, you see it in their eyes. So just like we talked about with Kenny Rogers here and the gambler, so every gambler knows, so if we change that to every salesperson knows, that the secret of surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. So walking away from those bad clients, staying with those good clients, also getting that great product. And guess what? Sometimes product goes obsolete, and you need to know what you're keeping, because every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser. And the best that you can keep hope for is, and this is a sad one, to die in your sleep. Because you don't want anybody shooting you. You don't want to make sure that you want to make sure that you haven't caused any problems and you're able to walk away from them. And that's really that keeps going back. You got to know when to count, hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. So you need to plan your sales meetings. You need to plan your functions that you have with your clients around this premise. You've got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. And don't count your money at the table. Don't get so excited because you think you've got this deal. Thank them very much. Endear yourself to them and step away, smiling on the inside. Because if you don't keep that poker face, then it's really going to make it difficult. If you have to come back to these clients after you've done this sales call, this assisted purchase call, and they think, well, this guy just took some money off me. This lady just took some money off me. And that's all they care about is just taking that money off of me. So in the infamous words of Kenny Rogers, you need to make sure that you, as the assisted salesperson, gambler in life, know those 4 secrets. So if you don't know and you don't want to get shot in the middle of the night and you don't want to be the villain in the overall things that you're doing right now, make sure that during your sales calls, you focus on that eye contact. You make sure that you are not over exuberant and you bring the right things to the table so that your clients can love you the way that you want them to love you, and bring them the right things so that you can be that lazy overachiever and make more sales and change more people's lives. Thank you so much. This has been so fun walking through the Kenny Rogers Pass, man. And it was so fun. I want to make sure that I get out and I chat with you. I want to make sure that I'm in your ears. This will be episode number 52. And I want to make sure that you know what we're doing here is trying to make it so that you can get to your next level. We got the Grow, Sell, and Retire book. We got the True Gravity book on networking. Also have one-to-one groups, one-to-one sessions. We have all sorts of things happening. We've got some big things coming up in October. So if you want to learn how to use blockchain, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things in your business, and you live in the Midlands or somewhere in the UK and you want to attend it, make sure you get on over to bartdaltonconsulting.co.uk, or actually it's .com, but bartdaltonconsulting.com, and you can learn more about all the ways that you can get in touch with us. There's so much free advice there that will make you a lazy overachiever. This has been BD Dalton for the Grow, Sell, and Retire podcast. Go out there and make a change, make a difference, and make it an amazing day.
Thanks for joining us on Grow, Sell, and Retire. For more information, tools, or to book one of our team members to work with your team, business, or to speak at your event or conference, visit bartdaltonconsulting.com or email contact@bartdaltonconsulting.com. Buy the book True Gravity on Amazon. If you want to work for the rest of your life, that is your business. If you don't, that is ours.